To me, that actually sounds the best in some ways. It sounds more grown up than going. I mean, we all are tempted to play fast, but so one way to play through this is just to play B minor blues and then just bend up that major third when it's on the B, and then just play straight minor when it goes to the A. Another way to do it is to play B major and then go to B minor pentatonic when the chord change happens. I'm going to demonstrate that in a kind of obvious way. So what I did there also works, where you're just playing B major, and I also started to do some arpeggios and some chord shapes. More melodic playing. And then when it goes to the key change, which is A sus to A, I stayed in B and just went to minor pentatonic. So there are a couple of simple approaches. Now, if you really want to play more jazzy, which for me is maybe pseudo jazz, because I really don't have any jazz skills, but I can kind of imitate it in some ways, is to do B mixolydian and then A mixolydian. So you're doing a B7 scale and then an A7 scale. And if you play fast, that seems to work really, really well. So I'm gonna go after that. Now I'm gonna play really fast, but my hand is gonna get tired. And this is something I want to stress to you guys, is that if your hand ever gets fatigued in a solo, all you really have to do is change your style. I'm gonna demonstrate that too. So I'm gonna play super fast in B mixolydian and then an A mixolydian. And then my hand is gonna get fatigued. And then I'm gonna break into more straight blues. And that's gonna rest my hand while I'm still playing. And the audience would never know, presumably. I'll show you. There were several times there when my hand actually got fatigued by doing. All I had to do is take a breath and start playing simple blues. Now, another couple of things you can do in a chord change like this is simply play major pentatonic in B and then major pentatonic in A. You're seeing these shapes over B sus to B, and this one over A sus to A. And then of course up here it looks like this. And here. Oh, hi from Germany. Hemke. Hey, I hope that's how I pronounce your name. Thanks for checking in, everybody. Philadelphia, Portland, Oregon. Yeah, we're all hanging out at home. Spain, hard time, but this helps. Boy, it is. It's a funny time. We're all trying to figure out what's going to be next, and there's no way to know. So it's kind of nice being home, isn't it? Oh, yes. This is the pick I like to use for solos. It's this really sharp Tortex. Now, for acoustic guitars, I like to use a thin kind of nylon pick because it's more like having a brush on the strings rather than a clank. And then for like R&B rhythm, I'll use a medium pick. So it's really 3 picks that I use. But I've discovered lately that I actually want to reach out and try a bunch of different kinds of picks because it does change your style. But this, for soloing, I like it because I can really play accurately and fast. Once again, I want to remind you guys that we've dropped the price on the Masterclass. It's still the 14-day free trial, and both the monthly and the yearly have been dropped, and it's actually on a new platform, more organized. Pretty proud of it, so check it out if you can. From France, from Italy, heavy pick with a soft touch. Well put. One of the things I want to talk about also is that when I play a phrase, I generally choose certain notes to pick very aggressively and certain other notes to pick softly. And that creates kind of a more interesting sound, I think, than just picking everything the same. I mean, you can imagine if you picked everything the same, I wouldn't have that much emotion to it. So what I generally do, and often as a general rule, I'll do the first and last notes really loud. I'll demonstrate that. Or maybe every third note loud. And there might be 3 or 4 levels of velocity that happen over here. I'll show you. Try and listen and see what you think. I mean, one of the things that will elevate you to sounding more like one of your heroes or a professional, somebody who's really accomplished, is to constantly alternate your pick velocity from hard to soft and everywhere in between. Hello from Hong Kong. Thanks for joining us. Amazing. This is like an international live stream. Just check out how I'm picking some notes loud and some soft. I think it's really effective. I mean, this is something you could try and probably immediately transform your playing in a way. Saskatoon, Canada. Munich, the Netherlands. I'm absolutely blown away. Italy again. Florida. And of course, when I use a Stratocaster, I love the neck pickup. Maybe we all do. I mean, that's the pickup that has the most expression to me. I mean, it's the Hendrix tone. I think it's probably the Stevie Ray Vaughan tone. It just seems to have the throatiness and the clarity and the bite. It also handles distortion the best. If I turn up my pedal all the way, it's still going to sound really clear. If I add a second pedal, let's see what happens. I don't mind that. Argentina. Thanks. Somebody here is saying they enjoyed the Grammy gig. Check out that video if you can. It turned out pretty cool. We worked really hard on it. It's short too. It's 14 minutes. About all the great musicians that did the daytime Grammys that I do every year. It's pretty fun. Alberta, Canada, Brazil, Buffalo. You guys are all checking in. Roy Braverman, how are you, Roy? Hope you're hunkered down. Composing some good music today for somebody. So like I said, the neck pickup is my go-to. I mean, I like using the middle one for arpeggios. Now I'm going to pull off both overdrive. I'll put on my Distortion, which is just a slight overdrive. So if I'm doing arpeggios in a song, I'll choose the middle. It's nice for that, for this. Let me tune up. Oh, got to turn on the tuner. You always forget something when you're doing a session or doing a live stream. That's kind of what's nice about it. It's like there's always little surprises that you have to overcome. Just like anything in life. Gotta just kind of roll with it. So that's perfect for an arpeggio. If I'm playing a song, maybe even funk rhythm, the center's really good. And then as I have some of my strats configured, this is a humbucker, so that if I want to do power chords or really sustainy leads, it's good for that. And even the kind of leads that are super saturated, I'm going to turn on a third pedal, see what happens. Actually, that might be nice for this. Let's see how it sounds with just the humbucker. It's really useful, and if you're playing a live gig, this configuration is probably the most versatile because you can get all the kind of Nile Rodgers, all the Stevie Ray Vaughan, all the Hendrix over here, and in the middle you can get perhaps, might I say, Tom Petty kind of sounds here, arpeggios, and then over here you can play an AC/DC song. It's the rock, you know, the humbucker pickup. So it's kind of a good combination to have when you play live, the SSH combination in a Strat. I'm going to try this with more sustain. Let's check it out. It might be easier. There you can get into some really odd kind of phrases if you see chord shapes all over the neck. And what I'm talking about is if you see B sus to B, let me clean it up over here so it's a little easier to hear. You can play to that. Or B sus to B7, and then A sus to A7. But if you're down here on the neck, it gets more interesting in a way. See, if I go here, you can clearly hear that it's a B sus to B7 chord. But that in the track can be really fun as long as you handle it just right. Let me try and do it in a musical way. Let's check it out. When's the video with Dean Parks on Steely Dan coming? That is a good suggestion. All I have to do is call up Dean and coax him to get over here, which is easier said than done. Roy, Linda says hi. Hi, Linda. You're staying and rehearsing. That's great. God, this is so fun. Hello from England. Switzerland, closed too. Oh, the best way to work on tight chicka chicka rhythm? That is a good question for me because I have an answer that is really good for that. Okay, if you want to play accurate funk rhythm, I talk about this a lot, and it's in the Masterclass, which is available right below. We lowered the price, so we have a kind of a 2.0. We built a new site, and the price has been lowered. You should check it out. The thing about rhythm, any kind of rhythm playing, is you want your hand to never stop. Keep it going. So the way I describe it is you're either grabbing notes or grabbing air. Even if you're not playing anything, your hand should be going constantly. That's the best way to have a tight, reliable, solid thing. And if you look at guys playing funk rhythm, I think pretty much everybody does that. I mean, you can break it occasionally, but there's still a little bit of that movement. So what I'm talking about, keep your hand moving constantly like the pendulum of a clock, and you're either grabbing air, or you're grabbing a note, or you're grabbing these. And these tend to disappear. If you're playing with a bass player and drummer, those those chugga notes, they just disappear most of the time. So you're either grabbing air, or you're grabbing muted strings, or you're grabbing the actual notes that you want to speak through. How do you stop the wrong strings from accidentally playing when you bend a string? Another great question. You pull up. Every available inch, quarter inch, eighth inch of flesh on my hands is muting the adjacent strings. So up it comes. This finger right there is muting the high E string. The thumb is bent over, it's muting this. And basically, the G string is getting folded under the finger. It's also being muted. And then the palm over here is kind of resting, muting these low strings so they don't ring. So what I'm trying to suggest is that if you get into the habit of using every available kind of extra piece of flesh or finger or palm over here, it ends up becoming second nature, and you don't end up thinking about that. And even to the point of, and I've heard other guitar players talk about this, when you play one note, after a while, you learn that the tip of this finger is actually muting the adjacent note here, and the flesh underneath the finger here that's arched over is muting that note right there. And after a while, that just becomes second nature. You tend to lay your hands down so that they mute all the adjacent strings. I will check out Ross Bolton, Guitar Tutorials. I think I've met him. He's a local guy here. Tim and Pete shows, not likely to happen because he's so busy and I'm so busy. We need a sponsor. If somebody came in and sponsored us, we could do it. But it's just a whole lot of editing and a whole lot of scheduling. And man, Pete is busy. He loves to go on the road too. Pete Thorne, he's just on the road in England. He's always doing tours. So I think you just have to see us on our own at the moment for the time being. Beto, I am interested in speed fills. Well, my speed is left-hand speed. And so with me, you're going to hear hammer-ons and pull-offs, which involves very little picking. I just like the way it sounds, and I kind of like the way I learned it. So for a smooth left-hand speed style, I mean, the epitome of that was Alan Holdsworth. I mean, just incredible speed on the left hand. Let me get back to my piece of music here. I want to play over it a little more. Oh, remember, it's B sus to B and A sus to A. So it does require a key change, but you can break the rules a little bit. something really interesting happened there. My hand got fatigued several times, and my way out of that was to just simplify, take some pauses, and play the blues. And it actually musically is a better choice anyway, because once you play a fast riff, you need to go away from that for a second. People who play fast all the time, I tend to, if I see a guitar player, I've said this before, if I see a guitar player that plays fast, I'm impressed. But after 30 seconds, if they just keep playing at high velocity, I just kind of begin to lose interest a little. So I think it's important to always be changing it up when you solo. Use every every kind of thing you can do. If you do something, go to the opposite and do something else. So if you play fast, go play slow. If you play bluesy, then go play melodic. If you play chordally, then play fast again. Just keep darting around to different things. And it's always great to take breaks. I mean, if I was talking at you without any pauses in my sentences, it would be pretty annoying. I think it's the same is true for guitar. Could you demonstrate space in a solo? Absolutely. I'm ready for that. Here I go. Demonstrating space. That was demonstrating space, but I also started doing a rhythm solo, and that's another way to change it up. And another thing that you can actually do when you're playing rhythm, and in a case like this, a little chromatic walk-up. Not to be overused, but chromaticisms are nice if you just touch on them now and then. And I hope you saw when I was doing that rhythm, the hand goes like this. Yes, guys, I do use Pro Tools. It's what I learned on. I don't know if it'll be around forever, but I absolutely love it. I recommend it just for guitar in particular, the way it looks. And the thing about Pro Tools is if you learn the 12 things you need to get your work done, whatever that work is, and that's what I do. I'm very quick at like maybe 12 things that it takes for me to get my work done. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be fast at everything. But if you learn what you need to get your ideas down, it's beautiful. And punching in and out on Pro Tools and visually, it's so great because I can punch in on the slightest little thing just effortlessly. It's really, really nice. 9s or 10s. I use 9s on this guitar because I want to kind of solo on it. But a lot of guitars I use 10s on just because they do sound a little more together and cohesive for chording. So it's always different. And certain guitars sound better, hold 9s well. Other guitars sound a little plinky with 9s. So ideally, if you have a couple of guitars, set one up with 10s and one up with 9s. Certainly my hands for soloing, if I'm pulling strings on 10s, my hands begin to hurt quickly. So, if your hands do hurt with 10s as you're soloing, I would go to 9s. Check it out. Juan, you're asking about diminished flavors. That's not a part of music that I engage in so much. Most of my work is in pop, rock, R&B, soul, and it's rare to find a diminished chord. So I would go to another teacher for diminished stuff. And that's me being honest. I think one of the things I realized a long time ago is that I'm a practitioner in very simple forms of music. And if I see a diminished chord, I know I can kind of cheat a little and do a riff that's maybe... One of the things that's great about guitar is that you can, more than piano, you can actually just go up a minor third and up a minor third and up a minor third and sort of sound like you know what you're doing over a diminished chord. So... So if I encounter a diminished chord, I might just kind of go, oh, I know what to do. Take a piece of that chord and just slide it up and down, in 3 fret intervals. And it kind of sounds like I know what I'm doing. Yeah, the Masterclass is all the videos. It's just a new format, more organized. It's just a better viewing experience. And we can update it easier. And we actually were able to drop the price a little bit. Once again, the link is down below if you want to check out the new Masterclass. It's a little less expensive, both the monthly and the yearly. Do I have a Gretsch Duo Jet? I have a Fire Jet, which is the same thing, and it has DeArmond pickups. I think I prefer DeArmonds to Filtertrons. Filtertrons, I've never had as much luck getting a clear tone out of Filtertrons. So mine has DeArmonds. It's very old. Gretches are still a good value, pretty much. Anyway. Yes, you want to try the Masterclass. You assume, here's a question. I want to try the Masterclass. I assume it's at my own pace and time. Absolutely. It's all sitting there. You go as slow or as fast as you want. Even the videos, you can slow them down. It's all there for you to take at your own speed. Somebody's asking if bone nuts make a difference. Everything makes a difference. And the better the nut, I mean, I think it could be synthetic as long as it's shaped right. But yeah, existing Masterclass members, all you have to do is send us an email if you want to check out the new site, and we'll tell you how to transition. We sent an email out to our monthly members this morning, actually, telling them how to transition. Yeah, we'll get it all worked out for you. Just contact us, and we'll show you how to do it. Well, we're about at the end of our time. I can't wait to do this again, and I'm going to play out and sign off with another solo. And guys, be safe. Enjoy your time at home, and I think we'll be in good shape pretty soon.